Well, today's a good day to brew some beer, so that's what I'm doing. I'm working on a Belgian Blonde from Listerman, and it's a great day even though it's the 22nd of December. And there's my setup: propane, turkey fryer, and I've had the grain going for about 38 minutes, which is a little bit more than I want, so I'm going to turn that off right now. Temperature stayed at 150. Yeah, that'd be great if I dropped that in there, wouldn't it? I'm making a double batch, so that's why I've got two. There's one and two. And these are done. So I turn the heat off. I'll be taking these out. Okay, so I've got the grain bags out, and very cleverly I've just got vice grips holding them so that they can drain. And then I'm going to go back inside and then get the corn sugar and then the syrup. I don't do all grain, I do kits, so it's already pre-done for me. So temperature, what I need to get this temperature up to is going to be 200, and that's going to have to sit for an hour. And then at some point in the near future I'm going to be putting in the hops. But so that's what's going on right now. Next step is get those grain bags drained, tossed out, and then I'm going to be putting in the syrup and the sugar. This is the sugar. Like I said, I'm doing a double kit, and I've got the syrup warming up on the stove so that way it comes out more easily when I pour it into the quart pot, 30 quart pot outside. Bag number one. Bag number two. Okay, so got the syrup in, and then you saw me pouring the sugar. And now since I'm doing a double batch, I've got the Sterling hops. There's the one, and I just had them out here to show you, so I don't have to go fishing with two hands and put the camera down. But I'm supposed to bring this up to 200 degrees, and then let this go for 55 minutes. And so that's it for now. Be back in an hour. Okay, it's done. Deck's wet because I had a little bit of a spillover, so I wanted to clean it up before it gets caked on there and more difficult to clean up. So I sprayed the deck down. Now, wort's done. Gas is off. It's now wort, and I'm going to be taking that, and then I've got a rain barrel over here filled with water. It's not the cleanest, but the water's not going to get into the beer. I'm going to take this 30 quart pot and immerse it in that, so that way it will cool down. And right now, I don't know, it's about 30 degrees, so that is going to cool that down really quickly. That's a nice thing. When I do this in the summer, I've got to bring the pot into the kitchen and put it in the sink when I use some ice. But in the winter, I'm fortunate enough to have some of this, if it's not frozen, to put the barrel straight into that and then cool that down, because I want to get that down to, you know, around 60 degrees before I go ahead and put it into the primaries. Because if I put it in, you know, at too high of a temperature, the yeast will be killed, and then of course you don't get any beer. So I'm going to be putting into that. So those are my two primaries. I'll be putting the wort in, and I'll be dividing the wort. So I've got 4 gallons of wort, and these are 5 gallons each. So I'm going to be putting 2 in here and then 2 in here, and then I'm going to be filling the rest of the way up with just water from the tap. That line there is the 5 gallon mark. Actually, it's a little bit more, so I'm going to go a little bit less, and that should be there it is on that one too. And then this extra space is needed to make sure that it doesn't, when the yeast starts being active and eating up all the sugars in there, you're gonna get a lot of, it looks like foam. And if there isn't space, the foam will go up into the airlock, and you don't want that to go through the airlock. So these are 6.5 gallon primaries, and this space is needed just to make sure that it doesn't, you know, overflow into the airlocks. And then after a week, I put the wort into my secondaries, and the secondaries, which you'll see in a little bit, those are 5 gallons. So these are 6.5, and I need this space to make sure it doesn't just overflow into the airlock. Okay, the water bath out there got too warm, so it wasn't cooling it down. So I brought it inside, put it in the sink, put in the ice that I've got stored up in the freezer, and then the fun. Thank you.
Cut off?
Yep. And this is the end product. Got the temperature, got it in the sun right now because the house is cold. I need this to warm up so that the yeast can get to be active with the sugars. In the back there's some homemade root beer that my son and I are working on. I think the next thing I'm going to start doing is brewing some of my own root beer. That's made from root beer extract, and we're not too happy with that. It doesn't taste like the way that we want it to. So, but anyway, that's the beer. Final result, yeast is going, you can see it bubbling, and temperature is about where it's supposed to be. And these are my kegs. This one's empty, this one's a Dunkel, and I've got 2 of the American IPA that I just kegged. Right now I'm carbonating them. I just kegged them, so I'm putting the carbonation in them and then gonna let them sit for a while. And when I am ready to take from those, I will hook up the carbonation, the CO2 tank again, and then reduce the PSI, so that way, you know, I don't get a full glass of foam. But right now I've got it at a high PSI, around 20, so that way it carbonates the liquid that's in there right now. So that's what's going on with these. I've got 4 of those. 2 are full right now. I just kegged them, and that one, you know, I kegged back in a couple months ago, so I've been working on that. But I keg and I don't bottle. Okay, I moved them out here. Now I'm gonna pour my Dunkel. Let some air out because it was under high pressure. So let's see what I get. And that's my Dunkel.